3:7, that none know its interpretation except God. Some verses he's left, are able to, you're able to make multiple meanings out of it. And those who follow, deceit, and they want to make it suitable to them, with disease in their heart, they will follow that which is wrong. So like, that was, I was going to go into that, the wife beating verse. They've added so many brackets into that verse, like that, because it doesn't fit. The word means strike, but God will always say what with. So he asked the women not to strike their feet on the ground to reveal their chest. He said about strike the calf, was it, or the cow or something, strike it with, and with what? Then he asked Moses to strike the ground for the water with something. And he asked him to, so the word is used for strike, but only with what with. So in this verse of 4:3-4, it says strike. It's not strike. It means so many different things in the Quran. That word, same word. And it means in verse 43:5, it means turn away and separate. The same word, yeah. So if you take all the brackets out of 4:3-4, and it's not just, there's lots of translations out there that have had this, but because there's only one or two, they go for the majority word on everything. And obviously, if you're a Christian, if you come from Christianity, you're told in the last days of Jesus, many will try to interpret, you're not going to, because it's basically telling you not to go with this majority's position on things. Just like, because this man said it doesn't mean it's true. Like, that's the whole thing. It's happened from the beginning. It's like, so the Quran also does explain that only if you if you're a Muslim, because you can see the majority's position is not Quran only. It's not. They have to have tafsir to tell them what it says, and that's what's happened. You see how many divisions there are, even just in Sunnism. So many, hundreds. I don't know how many. There's so many. They're all split up because they've all come away from the Book of God. They don't realise, and that's the reason. One of the reasons is the division in Christianity. No, one or the other, but one is going to be wrong always. But when I came to the Quran, and now I know the Quran, and I also, it reaffirms things in the Bible for me, is that you can't enter a place of prayer, you can't enter a place if it's based on division. So I haven't been to a church or a mosque. I want to go, but I'm not allowed. That's our test. We can't go because we're all divided. We can't go. We're not allowed. So, but it's a test. It's a test. And you're left with the book, so you have more time with that book, with God, on your own with God. And what you find generally with Quran only is that it is just a book of fighting oppression. I see. You just find yourself more bringing the Quran to stop things happening, repeating things that are happening in the world. It is for places of oppression, like false laws, which is what Sunnism is doing, trying to take over England with their Sharia law, which is Pharaoh's law, and the pagans' law. In the Quran, Sharia law is Abraham's, pagan dads. They were there before scripture came. So that's Sharia law, paganism. So don't get confused with that. And Jewish beliefs, they have, basically Sunnism is not the Quran. As much as they might take things, I will go through now, because I've got my own family to teach, and it's like I feel like I'm not even allowed to speak about the Quran. I'm not allowed to speak. That's how Sunnis make me feel. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, the only people that seem to, the only people that believe the hadiths, these main things of child marriage, custody laws, those two are the main things that you're going to hear all of these arguments about. The only people that believe them are the Sunnis and the Christians. The only people in the world. Because anyone else that sees it, they can see easily that it's not in the Quran. So many people, they see it straight away. The only people that do is the Christians and the Sunnis, which is what you can't say. You can try, that's it, you back off now, you can't, that's it, you can't help anymore, you've tried. So, to converts as well, I've gone through that as well. The shahadas are divisions, like so when you say the shahadas, they are all different, they're not from the Quran. There's no shahada, like you don't say a shahada. I get that it means that you're to something now, but no, the Quran, and I keep going over this verse, chapter 46:15, it's so beautiful, and it's taking the person, God says what happens from the beginning all the way to the end, until when he gets to 40 years old, and he says, indeed my Lord, I have repented to you, please make, like, when someone gets to 40 and you look at scientifically what happens, inside and everything, they reach full strength, maturity at the age of 40 years. It says, indeed, my Lord, I have repented to you, and indeed I am of the submitters. Yeah, so someone has a long time to decide, and you have a long time to learn. There's no pressure, because what I've said from the beginning in my videos is, or like debates at Speaker's Corner, is everyone's got a journey. Everyone has to go on their journey with God, who wrote it for you. Do you know what I mean? So when you have people come to stop it, or but Sunnism, got no idea. They'll take people's lives for something, like the old Judaism, back in the day, thousands of years ago, for being rude to parents, or for this and that and that. Oh, sorry, my washing machine. I hope you can hear me. Okay, so the polytheists in the Quran, polytheists are like, let me get it. Polytheists are the ones that kill their children. That's the Sunnis. Not all of them, but these honor killings and stuff. So everything the Sunnis, not all the Sunnis, I'm not saying that. From the beginning, I'm saying the ones who are pushing these laws that are not in the Quran, those big dawah leaders, the big ones that give all this and that they want the Sharia law to take over, which is against the Quran. I'm only talking about them when I say Sunnis. I've got my closest friends, some of them are Sunnis. Do you know what I mean? I've grown up with Sunnis, I know. So I know, really. It's not Sunnis. Sunnis don't follow, a lot of them, they just, general, they work, look at all the places you go to work, out in the shopping centres, everyone blends in, you don't fight, go to college, you go, workplaces, all different religions. I'm not saying Sunnis, I'm saying their belief, and obviously Sunnis and all of them believe in honour killings, but when I say Sunni, I mean Sunnism. I'll have to go to the search, but I'll just show you, because basically the polytheists in the Quran, if you go to like Quran, I found the Quran word search really helpful. It's like everything the Sunnis say is this and that, and you're this. Like, they'll go to a Christian and say they're polytheists. They'll go to other people. What I found is that whatever they were going and calling people and telling them they're wrong for this and doing that and that, in fact, like, they are the ones they are the ones who are them. So the Christians are not polytheists. Like the pagans are not polytheists. Like, hold on. Yeah, with the Quran, you read and you read and you read and you read, but it's a book, and especially going in the right order, chronological order, because they messed up the translations, and you can easily see when you put it in the chronological order, because God would leave that, you know, it connects, completely connects. So all of those verses, I'll speak about those as well, like the ones with the they go on and on about these same verses. Let's speakers call the 424. If you put it in chronological order, you see the verse before is chapter 60. So I think it's like 90 something, both of them, 91, 90, something like that. And chapter 60, next is chapter 4. But if you read chapter 60, they were immigrants running from Arab men. They're the immigrants. They left, so they don't have to get divorced. They're not going to go back to King Pharaoh's, are they? And say, oh, can I have a divorce, please? No. God said, don't worry. If you've married already, you know, they immigrated. But yeah, I keep saying that. Read in chronological order, because it was changed for a reason. Yeah, the polytheists were the ones who were running around the Kaaba. A youth believer, seek refuge in God from Satan. Indeed, the polytheists run, please let them not approach Masjid al-Haram. So, polytheists were like, but then as well, I said, like, they didn't have a scripture before. No one's against it, because they, you know, obviously people should have learned by now. That's the whole thing. God was trying to show us what people are without God. You know, that's what, nobody's got laws. Nobody's got laws. So this is what every place he sent a scripture to, this is how they started. They were pagans. They didn't know. And he's not even against anything, it's just about the violence. That's all it's about. When Prophet Muhammad had to fight violent people. Oh, I find it. And disbelief as well, I've gone through that, is violence. Oh yeah, this is another one. I seek refuge in God from Satan, chapter 48:6, so that he may punish the hypocrite men and the hypocrite women, and the polytheist men and the polytheist women, those who assume about Allah of an evil nature. So that's a polytheist, that's a hypocrite. Someone who's following the Quran. You believe that God would tell you to strike a woman. You've assumed about Allah an evil nature. And to make that verse Sunnified or believable to a Sunni, you have to add what? 5 brackets in there. Oh, if they persist, then you put all the brackets in to make it look like, and then you put lightly. Then you put lightly after it. It looks awful. The verse now. So you assumed of Allah of an evil nature. So your hearts are sealed until you decide to read and put down your hadiths. Your heart's sealed. You're not going to understand. You're going to have, like God says, when you try and have a talk with a Sunni about the hadiths, it's like what God says. The way they go. So yeah, I've never wanted to speak. They've always come and spoke to me, but I don't want to speak to them. I want to speak to the people who love God. Do you know what I mean? And don't put anything above. Basically, they kill their children. So yeah, that's that is that. The piece. Let me see. Yeah, all of the mistranslations as well. I'll go through those.